Looking at the guy's hand, our boy remembers Yggdrasil from the clothes and everything. It seems like they were school friends. The guy asks if they can talk for a bit. And man, our boy is clenching his own hand so tight that his veins are popping green. He says, sure, he doesn't mind talking. Damn, I thought they were friends, but clearly they are not. And the guy's already walking with him, saying it's nice to see him calm and all while he makes a weird hand sign behind his back. There are already a bunch of guys prepping Glocks behind him and he's staying, he missed his friend. What the hell, man? There are people on the rooftops and everything. Take it easy, buddy. The jerk is throwing out that fake talk, saying he missed him, barely even recognized him. But Ryuki just says it feels like there are a lot of eyes watching the two of them. Dude, I thought a fight was gonna break out, but now we're in a cafe, just chilling. The guy is apologizing for everything that happened 3 years ago. Ryuki keeps it real. He just asks if the guy really thinks his apologies make any difference. Hoof, brutal. Now the guy's just sitting there with that dumb look on his face and Ryuki wants to know he was called there just to hear apologies. The guy says, no, he's got a plan to get Ryuki back into bronze rank. No, I don't know. Does he even realize our boy is the real Ryuki? What's going on? I'm starting to get suspicious of everything. Our boy wants to know if that's even possible and the guy starts explaining the plan. But then, flashback time, Ryuki was calling out Garcia's name, saying there was only 1 week left until his mom's surgery. Man was on the floor like trash, clutching the guy's cards, begging him to cover the costs of the surgery. Oh man, when a bastard, he kicked Ryuki and told him not to touch him with those filthy disgusting hands, yikes. And then people wonder why our boy turned out all dark and brooding each next scene. He's just staring at his mom's body and a voice even says, maybe it was for the best after all, he wouldn't have been able to cover the surgery costs anyway. For someone unknown like him, keeping up the payments would have been impossible. Obviously, Ryuki's expression didn't turn out too great after that. Back in the present, Ryuki tells the bastard to stop with performance with a snap of his fingers. He reveals that the guy was a developer from the game Space Alien, which he had is the one that went bankrupt. Considering he's in such a miserable state now, what kind of help could he even offer? Ryuki just gets up and says goodbye, but the guy tells him to wait, warning that if he doesn't talk to him, he'll send all the information he has about our boy to Lindsay. He should know very well what'll happen since he used to work there. To be honest, what can they even do, right? Our boy doesn't seem to have any family at all. At most they might go after him, but they're gonna do that anyway. Back in the past, when our boy handed the first tutorial over to Gabriel. At that time, Lin Fu wasn't the top dog. It was his older brother who praised our boy, saying that for a beginner, he was incredible. From then on, he'd keep a close eye on every guy he released. Garcia showing a card says he must have some idea of how terrifying that man was, so he better consider the offer. Ryuki's expression changes. He turns around and at that moment, the guy looks confident, thinking they're finally about to negotiate. But Ryuki just snatches the paper from his hand and asks when the hell he's gonna shut up. What the hell, man? Garcia is already pulling out a knife, saying that if filthy guy like him lost all sense of how to behave in this place. He lunges to attack our boy, but all he gets is a hand around his neck. Ryuki just says that the one who lost their sense of danger is him. Apparently, the fool was eager to meet death. Slams him against the wall after all. He can't just kill someone out in the open, right, man? Then he walks off, saying it's best if he never sees his face again. Garcia quickly sends a message to the crew, warning them the target's escaping. The moment Ryuki steps out of the store of BAM, 36 Glocks pointed at him. Everyone shouting for him to surrender and put his hands behind his head. But in a single second, the first guy has his Glock ripped right out of his hands. And our boy pulls a move so fast, even the artist couldn't catch it. The kid's moving so fast he's slipping out of the frames. Come back here, kid. I can't even see you anymore. The Dan witch calls out to him. She's up on the rooftop, see. Use level 3 flash step. The poor guys didn't stand a chance and he's even impressed to how aggressive they're being. Igon then says our boy's stress levels are spiking. What's bothering him so much? He just replies it's nothing serious. At the very least things were now clear. He knew the next steps. First, it was time to go back to the world of the ghost. The scene shifts to Gabriel, who says he's disappointed in Garcia. Seems like that's how he repays the trust he's given. The fool apologizes but says he has some crucial information, like for example, that Ryuki is 25 years old. Gabriel just tells him to shut up. Honestly, that info is garbage. I'm with Gabriel and this one man who mourns him not to say a single thing that the entire lens of Guild doesn't already know. Then he says the kid got something, a random box. That's how he accessed the game. He just needed one more chance to fully investigate and figure out what really happened. Gabriel says they already know about the ticket that was acquired in that area. It was auctioned off and he already confirmed that what he's certain of is that someone is sponsoring Ryuki, and that's the information he wants. Garcia that thinks it's impossible to know which lunatic would be backing a complete nobody like him. With that, Gabriel turns around and says he wasted his time talking to trash, would betray even an unknown friend for a bit of cash. Damn, he hired the guy for the job and now he's humiliating him for taking the job. That's harsh. The psychological damage was way too much, and here he comes pulling out that knife again. Hey man, you really need to drop that habit, yet you step forward. It put a hand on your head and you kiss the pavement, too smart for your own good. Man, it was Gabriel who landed the hit. I thought it was like a security guard from behind, but the guy is just that fast. He says that apparently this bronze must be out of his mind for trying to attack a member of Jinsa. Normally, he'd have to be killed, but out of mercy, he'll just let him become an unknown. Now the idiot is being dragged away begging for forgiveness, saying he doesn't want to become an unknown. Yeah, but too late, man, he's going that dude with no self-control totally earned that demotion. And now Gabriel's deep and thought he remembers that bastard actually was a decent analyst, but that was it. There was no way to compare that rupee with Linful was the obvious pick, but somehow that kid always had something special about him. It was time to find out just what the secrets of that account really were. Back in the ghost world, our boy drops into the city like thunder, now showing up fully geared in his little armor, and Igon is always already telling him to roll time to hit the gacha. Fireboy's got more important things to do. He says he wants a crowd around to see what's about to happen. The views on his videos keep climbing and he knows it won't be long before those guys make their move, especially since those bastards are the biggest guild in the ghost world. He takes off his helmet, saying it's time to spring the trap. Right then, people start pointing, saying to check him out. Everyone seems to recognize him, right? The unknown from the video everyone's been talking about. Rupee had 92 tickets, 5 guaranteed XRs and 8,500 points. First things first, he starts with a 10-roll man. The items drop in front of him full of useless stuff as always. He is all bummed out, no SRs came. And the robot says that, unfortunately, there's no guarantee with boxes. The only thing he can guarantee is that he'll laugh in the protagonist's face. And there he is spamming laughter across the screen while our boy's just sitting there with the mountain of trash. He's lost the will to live, wondering how he didn't get anything with a 3.6% chance. Igon tells him not to give up, no true gacha addict would stop here. That's when he grabs the SR cards and says that, actually, now the game begins. The first one gives him a phoenix feather, SR rank, a necklace that lets you resurrect once. Considering that a bunch of the bosses in the game have those instant death attacks, it might actually be worth it. In box drops, he's sure this time he's getting a weapon or a sick ability. But what's inside is an SR rank toothbrush. The robot congratulates him, saying now he's officially the king of toothbrushes. But Ryuki's confused, there has to be something special about this so-called magic toothbrush. There's no way it's just normal. Igon explains that the little star next to the name means it's a special item, which means he can actually use it in the real world. He wants to know what the hell he's supposed to do with that in the real world, and the robot says he can brush his teeth and destroy any cavity. Ryuki throws a punch in frustration with the Dan robot dodges. The problem now is that he's only got 3 cards left, and with each bad pull, the chances of getting something good are slipping away. So he decides to open the last 3 all at once. Usually that's when something good pops out. He's biting his lip begging for a decent weapon. But what he pulls are 3 copies of the sort of weapon. The robot is dying of laughter while everyone watches him lying defeated on the ground. His wreck doesn't understand how he spent all those tickets and still ended up with nothing. The people nearby are kind of confused, not really sure what's going on. I'm not sure if they can even see what he's doing, like the items popping out. I don't think they can. And the guy next to him is already thinking about reporting him to Lindsay so they can come kill the kid. Then Hygon says he's got some good news for the protagonist. After pulling so many SR-ranked items, he finally unlocked the combination system. He can't reveal what other features exist in that system, but just know there are more. Our boy wants to know why the robot